enviable that her only joy is dancing. If she doesn't dance now, she'll never have the time to dance at all. Why are we alive? The rich die after having known all kinds of pleasures. It's a happy death. The poor live with tears in their eyes. When they die, their death is painful, and that's the truth of it.
In our village, the girls can only study until primary 4 or 5 at most. Very few go to middle school, because the mentality of adults was that girls at the age of 15 or 16 have to get married. They will become members of another family. When I was in primary 4, many people came to ask for my hand in marriage. It was hard to imagine, but father and mother were firm. They refused all of them. I thought of marriage as something really frightening. It feels like you are trapped. So I wanted to change the mentality of our feudal society in the village. I wanted to strive for gender equality. I wanted us to be able to choose our own husbands.
Initially, my reason for sending Ma Yan to school was because I didn't want her to be like me. I only went to primary 1. I didn't get to study anymore after that. So I told myself, no matter what happens, I am going to send my daughter to school. But when she was in primary 5, I couldn't support her anymore. I had exhausted all means trying to get her back to school. So when she was on holiday, I decided to talk to her so she could be prepared for it.
For the Children's Day celebration in June that year, I was the host and member of the choir. That was the happiest day of my life because Mother and Father bought me a new set of clothes. The outfit was very pretty. I heard them say that I will have everything new from head to toe. What they wanted to say was that that would be my last Children's Day. Looking at the new clothes she bought me, I could feel that it was going to be my last day at school.
I told her, Ma Yan, this is your last time going to school. She asked, why do you say that, Mama? I said, because your father is working outside alone and he can't earn enough money, so I'll have to go out and work too. She looked at me like this and asked, Mama, are you serious? I said, yes. Why is it that my 2 brothers can go to school and not me? Is it because I'm a girl? I said no. She said, Mama, I don't understand this. I said, when you get married and have a family and children, you will understand why I don't allow you to go to school. She stopped eating and cried. I walked out.
I was sad after knowing that it was going to be my last day in school, so I decided to give Mother my diary and the letter. I wanted her to know how I felt and what I was thinking.
She told me, no, Mama, I must go to school. I told myself, this child is so stubborn. There was nothing I could do. Her diary was locked up in a box. She took it out. She was unhappy the whole time. She said, Mama, take a look at my diary. But I am illiterate. How do I know what is written inside your diary? I can't read. She left it in the drawer. So I got my youngest son to read it to me.
You can't live without knowledge nowadays. Even peasants need knowledge to farm. Without knowledge, the crops would produce no harvest. I came home to work on the farm to support my brother's education. When I think of the children's laughter in school, I really want to go back to study. How I really want to study, but my family has no money. I want to go to school. Mother, I don't want to go home. How wonderful it would be if I could always stay in school.
I finally understood. I walked outside. I felt really sad, but there was nothing I could do. We still needed food and clothing, and I hadn't slept. She wanted to go to school.
Well, coming up, the day Ma Yan's life was changed forever. That's after the break. Hello, welcome back. Mayan was 13 when she started writing a diary about her struggle to stay at school in a poor area of northwest China. Her life changed when a French journalist came to her village. Now her words have been published around the world, a story of hope against all the odds.
During study time this evening, our English teacher came into class and asked us, "Do you want to improve your English?" The students said yes. Teacher said, "If you want to improve your English, then each of you should take out 1 yuan to help buy a tape recorder, so you can learn on your own during evening study time. If you have financial difficulty, there is no need to pay the money. Some families really have a difficult time. They can't even afford to pay for their children's school fees." I think of that time in my 3rd year of primary school when I had no money to buy books. Mother, along with a few aunties that I know, took a ride out to gather some fa cai and helped me acquire my books after a few months. Here, I would like to tell all the children out there something honestly from the bottom of my heart. My mother's care for her children is without boundaries. She is willing to do anything for her children. Here, I would like to say, Mother, you are the greatest. I love you. I love your spirit. You are so strong, so pure, so worthy of your daughter to learn from you. You are always the greatest in my heart.
2 days later, the French journalist Pierre Husky came to the village for the first time. That was the first time we met a foreigner. I was hungry and was very emotional when I heard that there were people from Beijing and their foreign friends in the village. Pierre's translator asked me how old my children were. I told her that Mayan was 13 and was finishing primary 5 that year. I had no way of letting her continue her education. She asked me to tell her what was in my heart. I said Mayan had 3 diaries. You can have a look at it. I went home and got them the diary.
When they met me for the first time, they asked about my situation in school and at home and my parents' conditions. We talked for a while, then they listened to me sing. Then he told me, "From now on, I'll help you go to school and to go to university, or even further than that."
Pierre Husky published excerpts of Mayan's diary in the French newspaper Liberation, and soon the entire diary was translated into French. Readers were struck by the poignant words of a young girl who seemed to be struggling against all odds simply to go to school.
During my first year of junior middle school, I got a lot of attention. Many reporters wanted to interview me at school and at home and at TV stations. Most of them asked me about my experience at school. So I wanted to tell them my experience so that they could then help other poor children.